Article 17A, entitled Technological Change, addresses or tries in part to address the myriad of changes that have taken place through the years in the areas of technology. New language in our contract that was recently negotiated takes out some of the old terms like VDTs and other such terminology that really is inappropriate at this point. It's outdated. Article 17A sets forth a 10-day notice sent to the union for proposed technological change with a labor management committee to discuss the impact of that technological change. So we have had a series of meetings with the head of IT through the years, and it's more of a formative or ongoing relationship that we've had to understand what they are planning to do in the way of new technology. It also, Article 17A also sets forth a joint committee on technological change and automation for bargaining those changes. It speaks to ergonomic guidelines and classifications, job classifications for IT professionals are addressed in here. Speaking to the technical pay law folks and the different levels of technical pay law status. We have had up to this point TPLs A and B, and with the recent contract we now have a level C, TPL level C, with adjusted rights, and their salaries, TPLCs, are not included under Article 12 for salary purposes. These are for very, very highly paid individuals who are working on special projects and of a time-limited duration for the most part. It also calls for a health and safety joint committee and training. And under technological change, there's a call for the use of technology resources that are appropriate or inappropriate to the workplace. So it's asking for or sets forth some guidelines for applying IT to the workplace. This is something that that is not generally handled by the stewards, but if you run across some problems with IT and the application for IT, give a call to your NH president and discuss the matter with your president. Let me turn it over to David Young.
Yes, Greg has covered this fairly well, and I just wanted to add a little background on this article. This is an article that has grown up along with technological advances. In the early 1970s, there were mainframe computers, there were no desktop computers, and they produced batch reports, that is just listings of information. In the early 80s, there was the Wang computer that was a computer, but all it could do was word process. And then later on came the IBM XT, which was one of the first desktop computers. There was also, in the language of the 17A, the Payroll Management Information System, PMIS, which was the first centralized payroll system for the Commonwealth. In the beginning of this technology, there were many fears about exposure to electromagnetism. People just weren't comfortable with the technology, so some of the language grew up along those lines as well as people became more and more comfortable with the technology. I mention this because our current technology has become a commonly accepted fact in our personal life and our work life. It is a tool in our personal life and our work life. This was not always the case. As a manager, most of My cases involve discipline for inappropriate use of Commonwealth technology. For example, surfing the internet for pornography, spending work time to surf the internet, sending defamatory and harassing emails, sending threatening and denigrating emails to co-workers, basically using Commonwealth technology for personal and inappropriate purposes. As a union official, the most interesting case I've had was an employee who called to the attention of management that consumers who were applying for benefits had their personal confidential information stored online and was available to hackers. Rather than giving this employee a Pride Performance Award, management decided to discipline the employee. We eventually prevailed upon them to revoke the discipline because if this story had gone public, it would have been a huge embarrassment. The best advice I can give you, both wearing my manager's hat and my union hat, is that all technology used at the workplace is the property of the Commonwealth and should be used only, and I repeat only, for business purposes. That's the one clear way to stay out of trouble. And as Greg covered, the language of 17A does provide safeguards for the introduction of new technology.
Thank you, David. Richard?
Okay, thank you. David and Greg have covered this one pretty well. I would just like to add one thing to David's comments about use of the state's computer systems. It is correct that the computer systems in state agencies belong to the Commonwealth and are supposed to be used for state business and only state business. Article 17A contains a very specific list of inappropriate uses of the state's computer systems, such as for accessing pornography sites or online gambling sites and that kind of thing that should be pretty obvious. I did have a case, though, that was of some significance, which involved a union steward who used the state email system to send an email regarding union business to coworkers in the agency where she worked. And she received a 3-day suspension for that. We took that case to arbitration and got the suspension reversed on the basis that what this particular steward had said in her email to her fellow employees was not disruptive, was not defamatory, obscene, or anything like that. And there was evidence that the agency had permitted the use of its email system for non-business purposes, such as scheduling lunch dates and things like that. So this particular individual, this steward, who was using the state's email system to send an email concerning union business, was perfectly free to do so. That being said, for you folks out there watching this video who are union stewards, I would caution you to think before you write. If you're using the state's email system for union business, you do need to be careful what you say, even though you should have some protection as a union steward for using the email system for union business. In fact, the contract does allow for that in a general sort of way, but again, I would caution you to be careful in what you say.
Sound advice. What you say and how you say it, very important. Thank you.